Hey everyone, what's up? Good morning. And you know who this is, back at you once again with another video. Today, I'm going to show you something that a lot of pro-lifers deal with on a regular basis in society. And something like this, you all should know it's not an isolated incident. As I said, these types of things happen all the time, and they also generally happen in other circles that are conservative related when it's talking about things like um, being anti-abortion, being against political correctness, things like this. And these sorts of things are growing in number. People are becoming more and more hostile to views that disalign, if that's even a word, with those which are politically correct, which tend to be more liberal leaning. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video is worth a million. So, with that said, I'm just going to play this video and give you my commentary and also show you some other evidence to illustrate the point I'm making here. So, here we go.
Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit, man! No, you don't! This is fucking bullshit! Get your shit out of here! Fuck! This is bullshit! No, it's not, man! It's wrong! Get
Okay, you all saw that. I don't really think much needs to be said. You don't have to like somebody's speech, but they have a right to say it, okay? And like I said, these sorts of things happen quite often, and these sorts of occurrences are quite frequent from those who tend to hold politically correct viewpoints. Like stuff like saying that abortion is women's rights, saying things like gender identity is what you want it to be, and all this other types of stuff. And there are frequent occurrences with the destruction of property from fringe people who just do not want to accept and entertain other viewpoints. But not only are these sorts of things not isolated incidents, but you have a lot of people in society who really feel this way, who would intend and outright justify this nonsense. And what I mean by that is, let's just scroll down and look at some of the comments. Look at what this gentleman said right here, James Strickland Art. He said this young man didn't shoot a doctor, bomb a Planned Parenthood clinic, or shame a woman with an unwanted pregnancy. Aggressive my A, he's a hero. Alright, first of all, you will not find really any pro-lifers at all who would justify shooting doctors, bombing Planned Parenthood clinics, or going after women irrationally when they get abortions. These people who would do any such thing are on the extreme fringes, and they get called out all the time. In fact, the man Robert Deere who shot at a Planned Parenthood clinic was immediately called out by a ton of pro-lifers, and especially many leading pro-life organizations, immediately condemning his actions. While on the other side of the coin, you'll have people who will get their signs destroyed like this all the time, and you don't hardly see any leading pro-choice or liberal organizations coming out and condemning these actions. You've consistently seen pro-lifers and other similar organizations condemn such actions. A lot of pro-lifers don't justify people killing others and destroying the property of others who hold differing viewpoints than their own. And look at how many likes this got. 8,888. You have a lot of people who think this way and who outright justify the destruction of property. This is not something which is an isolated incident. This is not something which, a very small number of people think. A lot of people on the pro-choice side, or I'll call it the pro-abortion side, think like this. I'm not saying everybody thinks like this, because you all know I've talked to people who identify as pro-choices on my channel, and we have very reasonable conversations. But I would say at least a substantial amount of people, or way too many people, and I'm not even talking about like just a few friends here and there. The number seems to be ridiculously big for people who think this stuff is okay and who will justify this garbage. Let's scroll down some more. Now, let's see. I just saw some sick comments on here. This person says, I disagree with the level of aggression, but his message is spot on. Are you serious? You just say you just disagree with the level of aggression? That's all you got to say? It seems like an indirect justification of what he did. She should have been like, well, I agree with what his view is, but stuff like this is to absolutely be condemned. Stuff like this is to absolutely be denounced. She just meant, I just disagree with the level of aggression. What? You see what we deal with? Pro-lifers deal with this type of nonsense all the time. And look at this person. Good for him. I rep down anti-abortion society posters at my university. It's freedom of speech too. Now, what does this person say? I've gone to the school. These people will be there with these pictures. Most of our aborted baby rabbits, mind you, and will be yelling at students walking to class. They do this with elementary school kids touring campus. It is disgusting. And this is the type of crap that pro-lifers condemn all the time and denounce all the time. Those people do not represent the overall majority of pro-lifers who do know such things like that. And this is a public campus, and she is talking about people not having to see such images. It's a public campus. The bottom line is, if you don't want to see those sorts of images on a public campus, don't go out in public. That's really that simple. And here's one that actually makes sense. If a pro-lifer, rather it says, had a pro-lifer done this at a pro-choice rally, it would have been labeled as passionate rather than angry. These anti-abort, okay. No. I'm reading that incorrectly. He said, had a pro-lifer done this at a pro-choice rally, it would have been labeled as passionate rather than angry. No, that's a lie. That's a flat-out lie. It would have not been read at any such thing. And I bet you he can't even find any examples of pro-lifers, like a significant amount anyway, who would label that as passionate. There is no regular footage that you can find on the internet, and I challenge anyone to find a consistent amount of footage on the internet with pro-lifers going to pro-choice rallies and destroying their property. I challenge them to find any such thing. This man is just telling just an outright lie. And then this person says, "That kid is my hero. Way to go, fellow Texas State student." And it just goes on and on and on. And you can just see just a plethora of just insane people justifying this. There's only like a few sensible comments on here. Like this person, this Nick Bressert. It doesn't matter what the F your views are, destroying someone's property is a crime. If that was my S, which it wouldn't be because I'm pro-choice, that guy wouldn't have even made it to the second sign. You don't destroy someone's S. If you want to send a message, come back with more people and more signs displaying your message. Don't be a violent effing prick. You see, you have people on there who actually got sense, who see the violence, and I give them credit for that. I really do. But those people on this page, in first glance alone, seem to be very, very small in number. And there's another one with sense. I am pro-choice. However, what this man did by tearing up signs violates free speech. And this person just overlooks it altogether, doesn't say anything. A woman's body is a woman's decision. If you're against abortion, it's your right not to have one, but don't force your beliefs onto other people's. You see, just overlooking this destructive act. She said, "This is effing great. Literally so effing tired of this BS." It just goes on and on and on. You just see a ton of people just justifying this crap. I mean, that isn't even close to the tip of the iceberg here. There are a ton of comments on this page. And if y'all were able to find this page right here, like this babe on Facebook, and then find this video, you would just see just the toxicity just under this video. It's just insane. But this is what pro-lifers deal with on a regular basis. This is what people with generally conservative views deal with. Constant destruction of property. And what these dishonest liberals will try to do is they'll try to point out, acts of extremism, of outright killing by fringe extremists. And you will have immediately a plethora of people who are pro-lifers and conservatives and whatnot who will actually condemn that right away. And leading pro-life organizations and all that. But they don't want to talk about that. They overlook that. But I would bet anything, and to be fair, I haven't looked up anything yet, but I'm fairly certain, at least fairly certain, that if I do a quick Google search to find pro-choice entities which would condemn this and liberal entities would condemn this, there'll be very little to non-existent. Perhaps I'll do an update video to see if there was anybody who came out and condemned this, but the point is this. There are a lot of people out there who still have these insane mindsets in the politically correct crowd. It is stuff like this which factored into the reason why Donald Trump won. It is reasons or not reasons, but yeah, I guess I could say reasons. It's reasons like this and things like this as to why people are getting really sick and tired of PC nonsense and why it continues to get exposed for the utter lunacy and insanity it is. You You can't justify this. I don't care who you are. And I'm glad to see that at least some people on their side have the sense to see this. And if people on their side can even see it, you know that there is a problem with what they're doing. But you can go find the page yourself, my friends, and you can see the plethora of people justifying this to outright overlooking it like what he did was okay. No, it's not okay. And these people deserve to be called out and exposed for the lunatics they are. But that's my 2 cents on this. Please give your thoughts, whatever you think. Like, dislike, comment, share this video, please, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. God bless, and peace.